G'day there, it's Mark here from Mark's Reviews and Tutorials, and today I'm going to give you a video on how to pressure clean slate tiles. We've got some here that have had some water sitting. You can see where the water's been sitting. They're really dark and not too pretty at all. Great amount of colour in these tiles, they're really good. This one here, I've just given a pressure clean off. You can see it's way lighter than these guys here. I'll give you a bit of a demo into here. Now I'm only using a small pressure cleaner, just a little gurney, and the reason I'm using a small one on this job is because with these tiles the surface is actually layers and flakes, and if you go too big and drive with too much pressure, you will actually just destroy the tiles. They'll flake and come to pieces. I am getting a little bit of flaking, but very minimal working with this. So onto this dirty guy here, you can see with the gun, I'll just give you a quick demo. Like quite a way back, giving a broad stroke. See, that gives it a clean, and you can come in, give it a more focused, concentrated clean. Now, what I'm going to do with these tiles here, I've got a very heavy mould situation going on here. There's little spots that are all around, and it doesn't matter how much I focus on them and stay in the one place, that mould is hanging on. I can get it off in the grout. That's because I'm literally blowing the top layer of grout away because there's enough pressure coming out to do that. So what I am going to do is get a watering can, just a normal watering can, non-metallic, needs to be plastic, with a rose head, and I'm actually going to put it down over these areas where the mould is and where the black is, and in near the bush there the black didn't come up, so all of these areas. So I've given it a good go over, gotten everything else off that I can, because what I can get off without chemicals I want to, because we've got a lot of plants here. We've got bushes right up against the paving, got a swimming pool here, so we do not want chemicals to be going into those things. And you can see up there, that's the worst part that needs to be cleaned. Again, we'll start off with the pressure cleaner, and then where those mold spots are, and they're all the way through here, I'll hit those with a mixture of hydrochloric acid or muriatic acid. It'll be about 5:1. I'll hit that in, put it on, just leave it for a little bit, and then pressure clean it off again. And I'll show you later in this video how I went. But the reason I'm doing the pressure cleaning first is because obviously the acid needs to soak through. So you use a lot less chemical, which is good for your pocket, but also good for the environment around, like the trees and so forth, if you're not pouring acid on and then washing it in underneath the trees. So there you go, that's the pressure washing. I'll just let you watch this tile so you can see how well it comes up. You see, the thicker it is, the more it takes. And again, a higher pressure, a bigger pressure cleaner, look, it's not going to do anything. It's just a certain amount coming off with the pressure water, and beyond that, you know, just a quick sweep over the top won't get it. You just got to take your time, but beyond that, just the acid, and just a few minutes for that acid to soak in, and then that'll bring that up beautifully. So I'm just going to do this a section at a time. Now if you compare that tile to that one, you'll see there's a massive difference. And at the end of the process, I am also going to seal the tiles, put a sealer into them, something that'll soak into the surface a bit so that the algae can't just form and come back. So we're ready for the next stage now. Most of this has come up with a pressure cleaner, and it's ready to be sealed. That wouldn't be a problem at all. But these areas where this black mold is on the sides, and down here where the water's been sitting, wherever those black spots are, I'm going to hit those with algae. You see in the grout here, I decided not to blow all the grout out. There's algae in there as well. So I'm going to hit it up now with 5:1. Now I'm a pool guy, you know, I've got a Pools Demystified channel, as well as this handyman, it's a playlist, Pools Demystified, and the how-to or the handyman stuff is in this playlist that you're in now. And pool acid, you'll find that a lot of pool chemicals are actually stuff you use on a regular basis, but not in a stronger form. For instance, sodium bisulfate is often sold as a toilet cleaner. That's dry acid to lower the pH in your swimming pool. This is hydrochloric acid, which is used to lower the pH in your swimming pool. I believe it's called muriatic acid in the States. And again, you can buy that for lots of different uses. Builders will wash down walls, brick walls, after they've mortared them to get all of the loose concrete and mortar off. So lots of different ways you can use them. And another one, benzalkonium chloride, that's a very common algicide. And again, that's actually used by dentists to soak their instruments in to clean them. So there's all sorts of different chemicals that are actually pool chemicals when you look at the active constituent. All that aside, I'm going to use acid because it's not an algicide. Algicides are not good on plants and trees and things like that, and I'm going to use it very watered down, 5:1, and I'm going to use it very sparsely. Now, plants, if they are alkaline loving plants, if they want the soil really, really alkaline, they're not going to enjoy this, and you're going to need to sprinkle a bit of pH buffer, another pool chemical, which is sodium bicarbonate, and that'll make the soil, sorry, I am a pool man, alkaline again. If you've got acid loving plants, there's a lot of different types of plants as well, then they're just going to love a little bit of acid, and it'll lower the pH of the soil a little bit for you. But it's not a huge quantity. I'm going to be working very hard to not having too much chemical used in this situation. Okay, so putting this down really is as easy as it looks. I've just got the watering can here, and in the areas where the black mold is thick, you just lay the acid down just in those areas and on the grout lines, and we're just going to let that to soak for a bit, because it'll do two things. It'll kill the algae, but it'll also break the bond with the algae. So just laying it down all the spots where the black is thick, where it's not going to come off just with the pressure. And again, this is diluted down and using as little as possible just in the spots that need it, getting the rest off with pressure so that you're not affecting the garden and different areas that you're cleaning into. So once again, just the watering can, and we are just picking out the dark areas and watering in those areas. If there's particular grout lines and areas that need it, watering in those areas. Leave it to soak for a bit, and then we'll pressure clean it off. This area I've done the other way around. The first area I pressure cleaned first because it was really dirty all over, and I didn't want to use any more chemical than I needed to. This area though is quite clean in comparison, so I'm just going to hit up the dark areas first, and then hopefully only use the pressure cleaner over this area once. Now I'm pressure cleaning off where I've started to do the acid. Those black spots there are coming off nicely. You can see here those bricks are now not got the black spots on them, are just down there at the base. But more importantly, you see down here, you see all of that's come down off those bricks. And some of these stained areas here, let's have a look at these black spots right here. Yes, you can see they are coming off, but they're taking a bit of effort, so I'm actually going to leave that to soak a little bit longer. That is just 5:1. You can go stronger if need be, but again, I'll just go over it as weak as you can over the whole thing, clean it all off, and then come back and only use the concentrated bits where you need to. But you can see that's working, and those spots there are now off as well. The tile that has a good old dose of lichen on it. As you can see, this one did get the pre-treatment with acid. So the black dots and the lichen are all coming off nice and easy. So when it's really light, the pre-treatment works well, and when it was really heavy like it was before, rather than putting down lots of acid, because I didn't put much down here, I just put it in the areas that needed it. Again, we can give that track a good old blowout to get all that out as well. And as you can see, comparing that tile to the one before it, it's making a beautiful difference. So the hydrochloric acid, yes, you can get far more expensive other chemicals, but this one's doing the job for me very well.